and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man whose phone number starts with 555. It's Niall Moore.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. You know, I tried calling you with the 555 number, but I keep getting different people.
Yeah, well, yeah, it must have been like the one of the 10,000 people who have that number.
Area code.
You just have to keep trying and keep trying until you hit me.
I had to do like 483 area codes to finally get in touch with you on that. It took me a long time. You've joined me before on Back to the Future. Then we did the About Time episode. Now we're on Last Action Hero. And so we've dealt with time travel. Now we're dealing with interdimensional travel?
I guess you could say that. I more kind of suggested this movie because I really enjoy it. I think it's just a hilarious take on, what were the movies that I loved back when I was, 8 or 9 years old. Like, I was a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. And I guess I was mature enough to realize that this was poking fun at the genre rather than meant to be taken seriously. And I've always loved it. It's like one of my kind of guilty pleasure movies that I go back and rewatch every couple of years. Like if I'm hungover or something, or I just want to put something on the background, I'm just like, oh, stick on Last Action Hero.
I mean, it's such a breezy film. And I look back to 93 when I watched it, I was 11. And I think the major issue for me was I was watching all these movies at the time. Like I had already watched Reservoir Dogs, Die Hard, all that kind of stuff. But when they were poking holes at the kind of weird partnerships of cops, the angry chief, the I can't get shot, the very explosions, this hurts. I laughed at the things I should have laughed at, like, the farts and the cat cop and stuff. But I think some of the really meta things went over my head when I was 11. But then I got older and I watched it and I just thought, this is really, because I remember Shane Black started popping up again with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And so I thought maybe I should go back and watch some of his old movies. And I watched this again and I just really dug it. I like Charles Dance, the villain. I like Benedict.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's so good. But it's kind of an interesting movie in 93, right? Because this is the age of the burly action hero. This is kind of, you had the A-listers at the time and they were just blowing stuff up. And so you have this PG-13 kid-friendly movie with also a lot of action. So I think adults go to it and they're like, why is this kid in this movie? And then kids watch it and they're like, I don't understand this. But I think I like it. I don't know. There's oral histories written about how this movie failed. And I mean, they went bombastic on the marketing, but I dig it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's got like, it's not going to win any awards. It's not that kind of movie. Mm-mm. But what it does do so well is, as you said, is take down the tropes of the movies that had come before it. The ridiculous sequence of things where you've got like, oh, I'm going to team you up with the most unlikely partner we can find. It's like, okay, you get teamed up with the animated cat. And it's like, oh, here's the like Aryan looking dude who gets teamed up with the rabbi. And it's just like, that would have gone completely over my head, I think, when I watched it. But I was watching it back the other day. I was like, oh, okay, that is actually very clever.
And I love that there's a valet to the police station. And there's a black and white Bogart that you can be...
And the ridiculous, like, costumes on the, like, female cops. They're all, like, something out of, like, some online MMORPG kind of game with as scantily clad and, plastic as possible.
Yeah, Gloria Gresham, the costume designer, she had her work cut out for her because...
Yeah.
I mean... Yeah, basically women in this movie. There's an entire scene where they bust into the studio set where they're just showing women dressed up and then showing butt shots, for lack of a better word. I mean, that's probably what they were thinking.
Yeah, they just smashed through a wall and then there's just this like big room with just, scantily clad women everywhere.
And I know it's the 90s, but what was the casting call for this? Like, you're not going to get your face shown. You're just going to be a scantily clad running away from the camera. Like, that's essentially the thing. And I know that's a trope, but then this movie also played in a trope. Does that make sense? Or was that...
Well, I guess at that point we were in the movie, so it was important to stick to
the tropes.
Oh. Everything that happened, within the movie verse has to be, in. Basically, at that point, we're still playing out whatever the in-movie screenwriter had said. It's like, okay, Jack Slater will have this car chase, and then they'll crash through, and there'll be this scene of titillation where we'll see all the
Yeah.
And I guess in the real Jack Slater movie, was Jack Slater PG-13, or do you think the Jack Slater movies go to R? I guess he says it was PG-13, didn't he?
Yeah, because he says you can't say these words that I'm dropping on you. And there's
I
no
wonder
blood
what was on that piece of paper.
Yeah, I love that scene too. Say it, like this kid, that's a sharp kid that got sucked into this video game movie. And I gotta say, one of my favorite lasting visuals since '93 is during the opening car chase, not the ice cream truck bit. I love that. But when they ramp up, they ramp up, they take a ramp, hit the street, and they're driving along and the car in the background ramps up and just flies in the air, then explodes. And then hits the ground. It's such a funny sight gag, and all the vehicles just explode. And later on, he shoots a cab. He's like, "The cabs are bulletproof." It's and it's also quite.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you look at those movies, you can, if you were to, I think the cars explode easier than like soccer players fall down. Right? You just touch one, and it's just like, boom. Oh, referee, give me a yellow card, please.
They were just he drove into them and they exploded. This is a dangerous world. Now, do these cars only explode when Slater goes by them since he's the main character? I guess so.
Pretty much. I think it's plot armor, certainly. Maybe it's, maybe they're just sat there waiting to explode, just when the plot can kind of go past them. And it's like, oh, now's my time.
There's a lot going on in this world. Jeez Louise.
When you've got a sentient animated cat, who knows what's going on with the cars. The cars might actually be, from the Pixar movie Cars, and they're actually there to explode and then fulfill their purpose. You
have Sharon Stone popping up in this world. You have the T-1000 popping up, which I don't think is a T-1000, right? It's just Robert Patrick.
It's Robert Patrick in police uniform, looking T-1000-ish.
Oh, jeez Louise. But yeah, I mean, this movie, I love the story about how it was created too. I mean, you had these young scriptwriters, Zach Penn and Adam Leff, writing a script about how a teenager gets sucked into a movie. Because let's face it, man. So I'm like a children of the 90s. That was just sort of free range. And I would just watch tons of movies. That's just what you did in the 90s. You just would go to a theater. You did Columbia House when you were a kid. So I kind of lived out in the country. I couldn't just go hit up the city. So any movie, any chance I had, I'd go see a double header. I would sneak into Time Cop. I would, I had on my Columbia House, my VHS tapes. I guess I did escape into movies. So, I mean, I do like the whole idea of this kid doing that. And the writers, I guess, originally had him as a teenager going into this world, then coming back and sort of accepting that, like, this dream world, he shouldn't put all his identity in that. Arnold liked it. The script got bought, but then they brought in Shane Black and David Arnott to rewrite it. And then they went into production. Then they got William Goldman, the dude who wrote Princess Bride. They gave him $1.5 million for 4 weeks of rewrites. Then they brought in Carrie Fisher. And they were rewriting it as they were shooting, and it still comes across as a fun flick. I mean, McTiernan said he said he was doing 18-hour days on this movie, and they said they wrapped.
That's crazy.
They wrapped 3 weeks before the thing was supposed to hit.
Well, weren't they doing reshoots after they had some disastrous screening or something that people didn't get it, and they reshot some more stuff?
Yeah, they didn't even have an ending. I think they didn't have the rooftop scene. And then there's going to be a scene where they brought in, like, Dracula and all these people. So he would battle movie characters from other movies when he's in the real world, Jack Slater. But for me...
that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
See, when it comes to that, would the characters have their abilities from the movie when they transition to our world? Like...
Death did, right? Seventh Seal had it.
Death did, right?
Yeah.
So, if you bring in Dracula, is he actually a vampire, or is he just a dude with pointy teeth?
Ooh, Ivan through suck your blood.
Go visit Darth Vader. Does he go around force choking people? He would still have a lightsaber. Does a lightsaber then work?
Ooh, I would start a lawn business, because you know how fast you could chop down trees with that thing, or shave bushes. But it's but I went and I did some thinking about this. I did some Kevin Bacon-esque punch dancing in a warehouse to sort my feelings out about this film. And a lot of people were complaining that the final villain is the Ripper, played by Tom Noonan. But it makes sense, because in Jack Slater 3, his child is killed by the Ripper. So at the end, he has a chance to get revenge on the Ripper with his kind of, not son, in the original script, it'd be like the kid didn't have a dad. He lost his son, so they sort of formed like a father-son unit. But then they realized, yeah, they go their own ways. But that makes sense. Like, I think him battling Dracula. I mean, Arnold battling Dracula would be amazing. But do you think it makes more sense to have the Ripper there, even though it's kind of a more boring ending? It's more kind of catharsis to kill the Ripper.
Well, it makes sense in terms of the actual character. Like, maybe, if it was Benedict, that's kind of, the villain you've been introduced to in the movie. But having him just battle some random movie villain from another film, it means nothing to him. It's just like, oh, okay. Oh, you're Dracula. Okay, right. I have some holy water. Here you go.
Yeah.
Just stop by the church on the way. I know how to kill you. You're like one of the most famous movie villains in the world.
Do a cross real quick, get some water, douse it with them, douse it on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just read those complaints about it, and it seems like, okay, the consensus about this movie,
the other
right?
Thing on that,
Go for it.
Yeah, the other thing on that is why would Dracula bother?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got no motivation to be in that building. He's been transported to a city full of people. He's going to be going, hunting or doing whatever. He's not going to be like, oh, what I really should be doing is taking this random kid and taking him to a rooftop and luring Arnold Schwarzenegger up to have a climactic battle with me for some reason.
Yeah, that's okay. This movie, though, as a whole, the consensus is negative. Would you say?
Oh yeah.
Why do you think that is? I would say,
I think mostly people didn't get it at the time. Like when it came out, it didn't play to its audience. Like its audience was the kind of guys like you and me who'd been watching like Commando, who'd been watching like Total Recall, who'd been watching Terminator, who wanted like some more just Arnold Schwarzenegger blowing stuff up and being a badass. And the problem was this movie made fun of all of those movies essentially. And it was basically just being like, okay, hey, that movie's, oh yeah, see when someone gets shot? Oh yeah, that's just a flesh wound. Yeah.
I love that at the end. He had a bullet hole in his chest, and they bring him back, and you're like, this is nothing. He's fine.
Barely a flesh wound.
I love that moment. It just cracks me up. No, you're right. It did. It was interesting for Schwarzenegger, too, because, I mean, he was that guy at the time. I know he did Twins, he had done Kindergarten Cop, but those are more straight-laced comedies. So I think this was his way of doing an action movie, so someone compared it to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where it's an action movie, but there's a kid sidekick.
Yeah. Which, if you look at it in, base terms, that's what it is. But that means you're missing the whole point of it, I think, if you're focusing on that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. This is a weird one, too. Just reading everything about this and how it tanked and how they put the name on they spent, what, $1.5 million or $500,000 to put their logo on a rocket that was delayed for 6 months, then finally shot out to space. Did you hear that?
They shut down Times Square for, like, a week or something to do, like, the filming for the premiere scene.
Oh, my gosh. And they brought in every celebrity they could think of. I mean, so I guess Arnold was in sort of desperation mode with this. He called in every favor he had to make this movie.
He loved it. Like, he said, like, the script was like one of the best he'd ever read. He absolutely loved it. It was a passion project for him.
And if you think about it, you have John McTiernan, Hunt for Red October,
who's
Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Yeah, Predator.
Hunt for Red October. That's a cracking movie as well.
Beautiful films, great track record. Then you have Shane Black, just the hotness in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And this is before he lost some of his luster with The Last Boy Scout, then he had Long Kiss Goodnight, and I think some people kind of soured on him a little bit. So they had this movie. They had Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was still making hits. So, I mean, I guess Charles Dance probably wasn't that big of a name at the time. Some of the other actors probably weren't that big. But this...
Well, yeah, Charles Dance was the second choice behind... They wanted Alan Rickman.
Oh, imagine Alan Rickman. He never would have taken that. If McTiernan did it.
Well, apparently, he was expensive. And Charles Dance, on his first day to set, wore a T-shirt saying, cheaper than Alan Rickman.
Oh, that's amazing. But I gotta tell you, would you want to see Alan Rickman reprise his shtick? It would feel a little sad. Not sad. Cash. It would feel like a cash grab. Let's say that.
Yeah, like he's already done like probably the best British sounding villain in action movies. It would take it into the realm of parody, I think, or self parody.
Yeah, you're right. And then whereas Charles Dance, there's a menace to him. I've killed smarter
There
and
is.
younger kids than you, and his big size and the whole 360 bit. You pulled the 360.
Yeah.
No, it's a 180.
It's a 180. Was it you pillock or you idiot or?
Yeah, he keeps calling
I
them
don't know.
Italian type things, like you pasta eating something or another,
Yeah.
whatever it is. But I dug his character, and then it gets mean in some moments, right? The kid opens up his door in New York City, and he gets robbed and tied to a toilet. And then there's a
what
scene.
was that about?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Like, that was kind of dark.
Yeah, it's super dark. And then you have the scene where he just murders a guy in cold blood in New York because after he sees those guys kill him for their shoes, then he murders a dude.
And then he shouts, I love that, where he's just shouting, he's like, hello, I've just murdered someone. Are you coming to get me?
And then people go, shut up, get out of here. It's, I guess it's to explain. So I guess in Jack Slater's world, whenever a murder happens, there's cops always there. Is that what
Maybe.
they're saying?
Yeah, or, somebody calls the cops immediately and they're like, sirens start blaring.
This is a weird world. So in Jack Slater's world, it's just Jack Slater. So for instance, Dracula actually exists in a parallel world? Or is that because the ticket from Houdini takes him there? Hey, do you want to summarize this movie real quick for people who are lost? Give a 40-word or less summation of Last Action Hero.
Kid has a magic movie ticket that takes him inside his favorite Schwarzenegger movie.
Wow. You just nailed that. That was like 20 words.
Yeah, I'm good at these short summaries, it seems.
I'd still be going. I'd be like 60 words deep. But yeah, it's I guess I dig how it just gets. You can tell though that there are 3 different screenwriters on this movie and a lot of different voices because there are some scenes that aren't like he doesn't really need to have a daughter in this movie because
but again that kind of goes to the trope of having the kind of the ex-wife and then having the super hot female interest for like the audience who has no reason to be in the movie other than like some kind of tenuous connection to the hero.
I guess they did do that in the 90s a lot. So you had True Lies with Elijah Dushku getting kidnapped. Then you had Face Off with the weird fetishization of the daughter in that one.
That was Peaches and all of that.
Yeah, that was kind of odd with his daughter. And so like the 90s. And then you had his other movies, right, where Alyssa Milano gets kidnapped. But I guess she was really resourceful because she cut her way out and got away from Bennett. So I guess that's a well-worn trope, I guess. But
yeah, it's a standard thing. It's like, you'll have, I think the funnier one was the favorite second cousin. It's like, it's like, it turns out my favorite second cousin was killed by mobsters and just happens to have really, really, really important information relating to.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
Hey, so, like, you know what I think my favorite part of this movie are, like, the tiny, tiny sight gags or bits in this movie. Do you have some favorites? Do you have, like, 5 favorites from this?
There are a few that I really like.
I like the cards that say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, that's a good bit.
I quite like how Danny just, like, puts the dynamite out with popcorn, which is like...
It's a great shot.
It's just like... that will work. Okay.
And then that scene where they have that eye when Benedict's eye comes out and then the dude twists it and it's a bomb. And the next scene we see is Jack and the kid, Danny sitting in the chief's office just covered in Looney Tunes smoke because of the Acme bomb explosion.
And like you see Acme everywhere, like in some of the chase scenes. If you look at all the boxes, it's like Acme everywhere.
And that shows it's in on the gag. This movie, I guess the beginning though, it's not the gag, and then you get into the gag, and then you're out of the gag. But they don't really have enough time to establish much of any of that. Would you say that's a fault of it, or do you think?
Yeah, it's the rules weren't really very clearly defined, I think. It was just kind of, oh, I'm in there, and then all of a sudden Benedict goes through a wall for some reason and is in the real world, and then they follow him, and then all of a sudden Benedict, of course, has full mastery of the ticket and knows instantly. It's like, oh, well, of course I can use this to summon a bunch of movie villains.
Because he saw the Twilight Zone episode, right? So he knew what was going on.
It's just like, I know how to do this. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna go get all these movie villains, which I think was a wasted opportunity. It shows he didn't really do his research.
You should have brought Godzilla in.
Well, you can't control Godzilla. I think, you go, like his speech about the villains, he was like, oh, I'll get Hannibal Lecter, and it's what, Hannibal Lecter is coming to dinner.
I'm going to put you on the spot. 5 movie villains. You want to take over the Earth. Which 5 you bringing in? This is a huge question.
It depends on, do they keep let's say they keep their abilities.
Yes.
If we're saying death kept his abilities.
And they work for you.
I think you got to bring Darth Vader.
Yep.
You bring an alien queen.
Oh gosh.
And then Predator. Sure, why not?
Whoa.
And then maybe you bring someone like Zod.
Oh no.
There's no kryptonite on our world. And you're like, okay, yeah.
Whoa.
And
the Earth is over. You got one more.
Yeah, I got one more. Then maybe like Lex Luthor or something like that, just to kind of strategize.
Oh man. I would take, if I want to destroy the world, correct? That's my point?
Yeah. Well, What if you want to defeat me? Who are your 5-hero team to take me down?
Oh, I'd have to take Superman. I would take Superman from all the different movies.
So just 5 Supermen.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? There it is. No, you know what? I'd take 4 Supermen and then Rey, because I think she would just hand it to Vader, because she gets so powerful. So I'll take that. If I had villains that would take over the world, I am bringing in the Sharks from Deep Blue Sea. I'm taking Stripe from Gremlins. Because if it rains and those things start popping...
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm thinking end of the world, right? Yeah. I'll take the creature from The Thing. We don't know if that's a villain or not, though, because it's just a...
No, that's just But, it's kind of a parasite that spreads.
And I want to end the world, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then I'll take that. I'll take one of the fast zombies from 28 Days Later.
Oh, interesting.
So I have Stripe, The Thing, Sharks, a zombie from 28 Days Later. Oh, man. And, gosh. And who's the dude, who's Ralph Ray Fiennes from Harry Potter?
Oh, Voldemort.
I'll take Voldemort. No, I'm going to take Johnny 23 from The Frighteners. Because he's just pure evil.
He was crazy.
I'm leaving the Earth. I'm bringing them to Earth, then I'm leaving. I'm done. How long does the Earth last with those things running around?
Well, I'd say, release the Gremlins in Ireland and it will be... Yeah. They'll have covered the entire landmass after, 2 days with the amount of rain.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's done. Ireland's done in a few weeks. Like, I'll put the zombies in the most populated areas in the world. So I'll just find the most populated area. Maybe
drop them in, Japan, China, India.
All right. Yeah. I'll drop them in Bangladesh. I'll just drop that one there. The sharks, they won't do much damage. I'll just have them run around murdering people. I'll have them take out whale. People will legally kill whales. I guess I don't know. They'll do good. And then the zombies. Oh man, I'll just let Johnny do whatever. This world's done, Niall.
Yeah, it's kind of it makes you regret that they didn't go further with it.
Yeah, I guess they could have gone because. Sorry to interrupt, Niall. I guess he's human here, so there's more stakes. It's fun learning that he can get hurt or hit an airbag or punch a glass and get hurt. But it's what's interesting too is his hand never gets cut punching a window. He never gets concussed after smashing into another car or having any neck pain. So he's obviously still a stud, but he also has some powers on Earth because he takes some punishment.
Well, he's Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? He's built true. Like a tank.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, imagine him with no powers battling things with powers.
Yeah, that would not go well for him.
And then Danny starts bringing in other things.
Especially not with plot armor.
It's
with no plot armor, I think you'd be in trouble.
But does Danny learn any lessons in this movie?
Not really. I don't think the the lesson he's supposed to learn is, to live his own life and kind of enjoy what he has. But what he really learns is that, hey, magic's real, and I've still got half this golden ticket. I can go into movies whenever I want.
Oh yeah. I have a question, Niall. You're a young kid. You get this ticket. You get this ticket, and you realize you can go to alternate universes. You'll never be the same because magic exists. Like, how would you be as blasé about it as Danny is? Because Danny's pretty chill about what's going on. Or do you think kids can process it better than adults?
Well, kids would be more willing to just accept something as given. Right?
Yeah, especially if your world isn't that good that you live in.
Yeah. Something you've hoped for is like all of a sudden magic's real and gives you an escape from, whatever, getting handcuffed to a toilet. I think you'll take whatever you can get.
That door that they had. I mean, I didn't live in New York in the 90s. Norbert talks about New York in the 90s. That's where he grew up. So maybe we should ask him about that. But that door was pretty secure. She's like, do not unlock this door. So maybe we'll talk to Norbert.
Is it really that? That's completely alien to me. Like, having spent most of my growing up time in rural Ireland, where even doors being closed was optional half the time. Like, it would be closed if it's cold.
I'm recording an episode about Raising Arizona with Norbert, so I'll ask him about it before that. But it's just, I don't know. I got another thing that's interesting. I think I told you this. I got a 20-pack of movies. I think it's a 20-pack for $10. And Last Action Hero's on this 20-pack of films. So it's kind of become the film that's part of 20 movie action packs for $10. And do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think it's part of action history, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was viewed as a misstep at the time, I think audiences now would be a lot kinder to it than audiences then.
No.
I think there's a bit more maturity at the whole meta thing, like with Scream, for example, like poking fun at the tropes of horror movies. That came out, 96?
Yep, 96.
Yeah. Like, even like True Lies came out, I think, 94.
94.
Like, that was basically almost an evolution of Last Action Hero. Just, it was slightly more grounded, but it was still very, very silly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're fired. I guess the difference was you had the voice of Cameron there.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to let anybody get in there and mess with his film. I found it interesting oral history, and someone wrote, it was a historical moment where so many people saw this craziness unfold that it created an embarrassment and a ripple effect in the business. Somebody needed to step in and say, look, we've got some of the most talented people on earth and a boatload of resources. What is this actual movie we're making? Instead, everyone avoided the hard conversations, so the movie attacked and ate itself. It's the cautionary tale. And they said that Hollywood blockbusters were never the same after Last Action Hero because of the mass expense, the $60 million budget, the $15 million for Arnold. Also in the 90s, if you think about it, right, like that's when some comedy stars really started taking over. Mike Myers get 20 million, Adam Sandler 20 million, Jim Carrey 20 million, Will Smith was acting in there. And I also think Keanu Reeves in 94 and 90 and Point Break sort of changed what an action hero is, as far as he was like a sensitive
kind of
dude.
Moved away from, like, that was kind of the end of Arnold's reign as like an action god.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you look at what films came out afterwards, you had basically Eraser, like he did Sixth Day came out later.
End of Days.
However many Terminator sequels he's done now.
Yeah.
So the pickings are kind of slim. Whereas, if you look at his filmography before then, Batman and Robin, which was, awful.
Oh, that was
the
so
only
bad.
Batman movie I can't rewatch.
No.
I've tried. I just can't watch it. And not because of Arnold, but just in general, it's just so bad.
And even though I feel like Batman and Robin does a solid job of just capturing its tone. It knows what it is. And most of the time I can embrace that, but for some reason with Batman and Robin I can't. It's just too... Oh. I don't know. It's too
And the
much.
thing is, I think I liked that when I first saw it in the cinema. I think I was like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Batman movie. Oh, he's saying lots of funny one-liners. Is he going to say, I'll be back? That would be great.
Oh yeah. And hey, I want to look at action films in '93, and kind of like let's like Cliffhanger came out with Rennie Harlin. That was a massive blockbuster.
Yeah.
Rennie Harlin, why? Obviously, it's completely, and it didn't open opposite Jurassic Park. Open a weekend before that.
Which,
Stupid.
that again is another slight miscalculation for Last Action Hero. To open against what became one of the biggest box office hits in history.
Mm-hmm. I mean, gigantic.
Some like Spielberg, dinosaur movie. Nah, that'll be fine. Arnold's star power will carry that. Nobody's even in that.
No, they've refused to move it like 3 weeks. How stupid was that? That was hubris, though. I bet you but that's the thing. You have this movie, and you're probably thinking this is going to be a success because of Arnie.
Yeah.
So it was just fresh off T2 as well.
Yeah, which was huge.
But yeah, I guess the movies that really succeeded, the action films in '93, were what? The Fugitive, but that was more of a adult thriller, right? That wasn't.
That's not action. That's very much a
thriller.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely a thriller. It's not. There's not really much action in it, is there?
Mm-mm. And then the big bombastic action released in '93 was Hard Target.
Yeah.
Snake punching.
It was Van Damme, wasn't it?
Yeah, Van Damme. And you had, and then you had Demolition Man, which still holds up. I love that movie.
I love that. It's so good.
Tombstone, which is a Western, but it's also an action film. But yeah, I think the big action bonanzas of that year were Last Action Hero, Demolition Man, Cliffhanger, Hard Target. So you still had
they're all, in my opinion, good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But if given the choice to watch any of them and see Jurassic Park in the theaters for the first or second or third time, or how many times I saw it,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to see Jurassic Park.
Oh, hands
that was
down.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because that blew my mind.
Or that, or Cliffhanger, or Demolition Man. But yeah, definitely Jurassic Park first. But also this year, True Romance came out with Christian Slater, the kind of action, different type of the script-driven Tarantino-y. Well, actually, he wrote that. Tony Scott. Then you had Hot Shots Part 2. Do you think Hot Shots Part 2 mimicked the action film better than Last Action Hero with its deadliest movie ever, the chicken bow and arrow?
Hot Shots is very much more in the kind of airplane, Mel Brooks kind of school of poking fun. It's very obvious that this is parody, and I think that's where Last Action Hero missed, because it was too subtle. It was meta, and it was very subtle about poking fun. There's a scene where Danny's like, oh. And it brings back to the production design and things like that. It's like Danny's like, there's a scene, the guy in Die Hard, he was hanging and then he came back later. Go check if he's dead. And they played like a few notes from the Die Hard theme tune just as they're going to check it. And I was like,
I do love that scene.
Is, great. Or the cop who's like, oh, I'm 2 days from retirement before he dies. And it's just like, okay, that's obviously Murtaugh.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. There's little... But I guess people nowadays, when we watch it, and you have the hindsight of knowing how meta it was, but you're right. People probably went in there thinking it's an action movie, so they didn't appreciate the jabs at action. And then kids, maybe it went over their heads. So the kind of all the core audiences at the time, right, weren't ready for this. Does that make sense? It wasn't...
Yeah, I think, it was very much ahead of its time. I think if it had come out in, say, 97, 98, after we'd had Scream do something very similar for horror movies with the tongue-in-cheek, it's like, the virgin never gets killed, and the rules of horror movies say that you have to do this, 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 and this, and
I'll be right back. That movie nailed its tone, Scream, because it took it quite seriously. So even the beginning conversation with Barrymore, they're talking about tropes and horror, but then he does gut and hang her. and you see it.
Yeah.
Like Drew Barrymore's tongue's, I think, sticking out her mouth with her guts hanging out. So they walk this interesting angle of meta and bloody, which satiated horror fans and then people who were hipsters. It's like a Starship Troopers, where you can watch all the blood and guts you want, but then there's also the jabs at fascism and the performances. So it's like it's a multi-level quadrant movie where people could enjoy different audiences, right? But Last Action Hero.
See, that's possibly the problem with Last Action Hero. It didn't nail the action hard enough.
Do you think they learned from that?
The action was obviously like staged and fake, like with the ridiculous explosions, with like, you know, where they're having the chase in the gorge and like he drives the car and can somehow turn the car in midair to land on top of a truck and then fall down. Meanwhile, the car who's following him flies 100 feet in the air and explodes. You know, it was completely OTT and silly. And I think that missed the mark. If they'd gone the Scream route of having the action being kick-ass action within the movie world, then people, I think, would have digged it a lot more. They'd have been like, oh, okay, this is, you know, it's got some cool action and it's poking fun at, you know, these tropes.
You could have had, you know, in the Fast and Furious movies, Vin Diesel gets shot. In Fast 4, he gets shot, the Fast and Furious, and he forgets about it. But that was still played in a really intense action film. So I hate, like, we have hindsight, of course. But yeah, I mean, imagine one of these scenes where Arnold gets shot in the shoulder. And everyone's just like, oh, he'll be fine. Like, that's but a little grounded.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I still love the sight gags. I mean, seeing what catching a cone in the back of the head and then dying. I mean, that's pretty to coin a new phrase.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's pretty beautiful. But yeah,
what did he say? I iced him. To coin a phrase.
Al Young, yeah, he gets iced him to coin a new phrase. So it's. But you know what's interesting? Imagine if Schwarzenegger made this after End of Days and Sixth Day and Eraser. This could have been quite interesting because he was at the peak doing this, and then he made fun of the tropes. So if he had had a few rough years and made this,
come and done this, it would have been potentially a more interesting choice.
But I guess without this, Scream and some of the other films probably wouldn't have learned
what not to do.
Yeah. So I guess it had to have happened right now. It's just an interesting curiosity. Like it's a curiosity. I mean, it's a, you know, the original writers wanted Dolph Lundgren to star in it, and
I don't think Dolph. Well, at least in how it was, I don't think Dolph had the star power to carry it.
Yeah.
Like to be like this kid's idol, like, you know, yourself excluded. I don't think there were too many people who were like huge Dolph Lundgren fans in the early 90s. Like he was liked and he was like cool, but he didn't have, you know, that star power, you know, with, you know, Stallone,
Van
Damme, Schwarzenegger, like the trinity of the action stars.
And I guess you're right, because you had, all right, so what did you have? You had the charisma of Arnold. Many people have knocked him for his acting, but he has charisma on screen. Then you have Jean-Claude Van Damme, who I think he was one of the few action stars at the time to show vulnerability. Remember, he would get the snot beat out of him in fights and then come back.
He used to like take a horrendous beating and then, you know, still win.
Yeah, and he was very flexible.
And Stallone, with Rocky, he showed that he was quite prone to taking a bit of a beating as well, but he tended to push through.
Yeah, and then he moved to Over the Top and Rambo.
Yeah.
What was the core of
the thing is First Blood?
Blood
wasn't that First Blood was very grounded. It was more Rambo 2 and Rambo 3 where it just got ridiculous.
Yeah, it was just him versus Brian Dennehy, I would say. No, yeah, so you had that, and I guess Dolph, he had just done He-Man, Universal Soldier, which you should have gotten an Oscar nomination for, and Rocky 4. You should have seen the look on Niall's face when I said he should have gotten an Academy Award for Best Actor. Hey, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, so Niall can stop laughing, and when we come back, we will talk more Last Action Hero. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And Niall, can you tell me how to spell skeezy?
I would assume it's Skeezy, but
Yeah,
I couldn't be 100%.
I love it. He's like, not an I. Skill skeezy comes in. And I gotta say, though, the best pun in this movie is when Jack Slater is chasing down Benedict, and he's like, I gotta catch the red eye. I mean, that
is very, very good.
Yeah. And all right. So how about this? I just want to go, let's do this. Our five, you go one, I go one. We'll keep this like ordered so I don't go all over the place. Let's do our 5 favorite sight gags that we haven't talked about yet. That really make this movie work, because I'm telling you, there's some good things survived in this movie. So what's your, can I start so as you can think?
So, yeah, you can go first.
All right. And I just want you to know, Niall needed about a 40-minute break to keep laughing about Dolph Lundgren getting a Universal Soldier Academy Award nomination, just letting everyone know. But I like this.
Set me off again.
Oh, God. Oh, great. Welcome back. All right. I think number 5 is where Benedict comes up. He's like, hey, how do you guys like arterial red spray? And he, snaps his fingers, and then they look over and their dogs are in a pyramid. It's just such, it's so weird. And that's what I want. Like, for me, I love it when movies go full weird. There's a movie that came out in 2020 called Get Duped that just goes full weird. Favorite horror film of 2020. It's in my top 10 favorites of the year because it embraced the weird. It went full weird. So I love that little bit. I love the full weird. There's a dog pyramid because he snaps his fingers. So that's my number 5.
My number 5 would be the tape recorder talking to his ex-wife, where he just like puts it on the thing. And it's just like, yeah, sure, yeah, which they reused in True Lies, kind of a little twist on it as well, with the scene with the tape recorder as well, where he'd recorded this whole speech for the striptease.
Oh yeah. He did do that. I love that movie, man. True Lies holds up. I think they were smart enough to add. Well, it's Cameron, so of course he's going to add in an interesting role for Jamie Lee Curtis, kind of give her more to do. All right, so we have that. I guess for me is when we've already talked about that, but I'm just going to do it anyway. I love the scene during the chicken. There's a moment where they're playing chicken, and the guy who's driving, I guess in this world of Jack Slater, the villains always turn. They always lose their guts. But they ramp these Acme explosive boxes. The truck flies in the air. And I don't know why, but the henchman in the back shoots up about 50 feet in the air. It makes no sense for a ramp to be there because it's just a pack of like boxes. It's just so absurd. And it makes no sense. But the guy flies about 40 feet in the air. Just some skeezy henchman. And that just makes me happy. Hey, skeezy. I just love watching this dude, for no reason, fly 40 feet in the air. It made me happy. So I'm saying that.
Well, it was a deliberate filmmaking choice. So they intentionally inserted goofs into the movie to make it seem like more movie-like.
Ah.
Like random, like things like that with, inexplicable ramps and...
I love it. But you're right, though. There are so many ramps in movies that are unnecessary, Niall. There's been very, very, very many unnecessary ramps. So, yeah, no, I dig it. Cool.
How many times do you see a ramp in real life? I can't even think about the last time I've seen, a ramp that a car could potentially fly off.
I don't even see tow trucks staged in a way that I could just drive up the ramp and go up. That's why I like the movie Used Cars, by the way. This is really random. 1980 film directed by Zemeckis, starring Kurt Russell. But the guy ramps a tow truck, but he has to take the car off of it first. So that,
interesting.
At least they explain that, which makes me happy. And also, Decker is in it as well. I just had to pitch that. So what's your 4th favorite?
So my 4th would be the E.T. homage. So when Danny is decided he's going to play chicken with Benedict's goons on a bicycle, and he's just there like cycling along, and this car is coming at him full tilt, and he's like, hang on, what if I'm just the comic relief? And he like swerves off, and then like for some reason there's a ramp, and he flies up and makes the silhouette with the moon, and it's. I think they might have even played like a hint of the E.T. theme while they did it as well.
And then he lands on the house and crashes, and a lady screams. Yeah. It's just such a like. Where it's just, I guess things like that happen in that movie. Now, so since Slater's basically immortal and doesn't die, does that mean other people in the world are capable of these feats? Because he is. That's not human.
Well, the thing is, the cops who were with him at his second cousin's house, they both died.
Yeah.
So I guess it only applies to the hero.
Yeah. That's interesting. And I guess since he's plucky comic relief, he can pull stuff off like that?
Yeah.
All right. My number 3. If you harm a single hair on her head, wait. Ding! And then,
I love that. That one's so good.
And he pulls the hair from Brigitte Nelson's, Sampras. Wait, no. Wait,
yeah, didn't she marry Pete Sampras?
Yeah, so that always throws me off. Bridget Wilson Sampras. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I always want to say Nielsen. That's from Bridget Nielsen. That's Red Sonja. But yeah, Bridget Wilson Sampras. He pulls hair off of her head. Then you hear bing, and then he splits it in half. I mean, that's a good gag, and that makes the villain so much more likable. I love that scene. Just bing, dink. Oh, yeah, that's my number 3. I love that bit.
So the next one is not really a bit. It's more another trope. But the fact that they basically had Oddjob as the like manservant in the villain's house, it's just like, for some reason we have a random Asian butler who looks a lot like Oddjob.
I love that too. It's just a good pull, right? It just feels. I love seeing. I always laugh seeing him in here. Now this isn't one of my 2. Actually, we'll get to that after the scenes. I'm gonna say it's not a bit, but. In the Hamlet trailer, which was from the original skit.
Oh, I love that.
To be or not to be.
I would watch Arnold Schwarzenegger's Hamlet.
Not to be. But when he kills, I love when he kills the ninjas in that movie. Because he has a machine gun and he's just lighting up people who don't have machine guns. And it's just such... I wish the tone of this movie would have been silly on silly, not serious, silly, serious. I love that Hamlet bit. It just cracks me up. So yeah, and he's the original action star, by the way. So yeah, that's my number 2.
So next one I like is Sylvester Stallone as the Terminator.
Oh yeah.
When they go to like the video store and they've got like a picture perfect cutout like from like the Terminator 2 poster essentially, but with Stallone.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Like
that's a video store.
I wonder, like in the Jack Slater universe, who would have gone on to be like some of Arnold's more interesting roles? Like who would have been Conan? Who would have been? I guess Dolph could have done Conan.
Yeah, I mean he took over He-Man.
Yeah,
they called the sword that Dolph had in Masters of the Universe the Buick Slayer because it was so big, and Dolph was the only one on set who could really like handle a thing. So
that thing is massive.
All right, so now we're at number 1. Am I at my number 1?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I think it's when Bridget Wilson Sampras or Whitney or Meredith, one of the two, the actress of the daughter, she kicks one of the henchmen in the balls and lifts him off the ground over her bed. So he flies over her bed into the wall. And then she jumps on him, screaming the whole time, and pulls the gun on him. But that kick, I mean, it's not this... so she has that power, too. So it must just be the family and Danny who have the power, which is a Masters of the Universe quote. But yeah, I mean... well, what about Bogart Cop? Or Cop who's frisky? And didn't the Cat Cop get banned for a month because he was...
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it wasn't... Yeah, the Cat Cop. It's like... why is there an animated cat there? He's supposed to be here. His suspension's over.
But that's my number 1 because every time I see that, it's just, I guess I guess it makes sense that she is as powerful as Slater because she's his daughter.
Yeah.
And it's another nice thing is you just get tired of women getting kidnapped in movies, becoming the damsel in distress. So it's nice to see the daughter just destroying people. It's a nice trope. You know what I was thinking? This is really random, but I was watching Blade 2, and I've talked about this on the podcast. The main lady on there, I forget her name, but in the beginning she fights Blade to a standstill. Like they're evenly matched. And at the end,
Yeah.
she just becomes this sort of damsel in distress who doesn't do any more fighting. I never understood that, Niall. I just want to let you know. It's annoying.
I do not recall. I have not watched that movie in many a year.
I love it. It's just I don't like that trope. So I kind of like that she comes back later, like she frees herself, and then she comes and saves them from. Oh, I love when Jack Slater parks his car. He just drives across traffic, drives through a lake, and up a hill and parks.
Yeah.
I love that scene.
Because
why not?
And then, yeah, my favorite is that we haven't talked about already is when they go into Jack's apartment and he just shoots the mirror.
Yes.
And he's just like, why'd you do that? It's like, there's a guy in there. It's like, how did you know? It's like, there's always a guy in there. It's just like,
I love it. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes people like us really hold on to this film, because there are these moments that I just love.
Yeah, like that's brilliant. It's just like, yeah, okay, like the amount of James Bond movies I've seen where there's a dude hiding in the cupboard who like comes out and tries to kill Bond after Bond's had his way with whatever lady he's accompanying.
It's just a little. So I guess for me is, yeah, even though this movie has some tonal mishmashing in there, there's just enough in there, and there's enough oddity to it. Like you watch some action films, right, and they're totally serviceable. The gunfights are good, they're well staged, the characters are okay. You watch it for an hour and a half and you leave, but then you forget about it immediately. But I think where Last Action Hero stands out amongst the rest is the tone is so jarring that it kind of throws you off, and it's a different type of film. But these little gags, it has the best thing you could say for Last Action Hero is that it has personality. And
yeah,
even though
you're always going to get that with Shane Black, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
And with Carrie Fisher as well. Like she's well known for her script doctoring.
And William Goldman.
Yeah.
So William Goldman. So I was reading through. I mean, there's a lot about this movie. It's just too much. So let's see. Wait, what movie is this? Oh no, I was just reading Joe Dirt notes. I'm like, wait, this isn't my movie. But they said that what did Goldman write? So they said, okay, Hamlet is Penn and Leff. Benedict was a Goldman creation. Mr. Benedict was created by Goldman.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because in the original script, they found out that you have the main villain and then you have the secondary antagonist.
Yeah.
So you have like a Lethal Weapon-esque type thing with I mean, if you think about Last Boy Scout, it's the secondary henchman that's the deadliest. When you think about Lethal Weapon, Mr. Joshua, Die Hard.
Yeah, it's often the case. Like there's like the leader who's like more of a an ideas guy, and then there's like the lead grunt who's actually the guy who's going to put up the hardest fight for the hero.
So you got that.
Where the final battle is more psychological than physical.
Whoa. I have a question. Have you seen John Wick 3?
No.
Oh, never mind then. I don't want to wreck anything. But then also the fat gangster named Leo the Fart was black and are not. But
yeah,
I don't understand the farting in that movie because I get the farting.
It was like that whole sequence, like it was just like one big, like I think they came up with the idea of the set piece and then kind of had to have a cute little name to tie into it. It's like, oh, it'd be cool to drop like a bomb in the La Brea tar pits and have it like be contained.
Yeah.
And then kind of work backwards from there rather than kind of have the guy have any purpose.
But it's inside Leo the Fart. And I love the production design, though, of that scene. It's very red, yellow, very over the top. Like they went for a very stylistic aesthetic in there, and I dig it. I mean, you can really tell how red, blue, yellow it all is. I don't know if you appreciated that production
LA
design.
does not look like that.
No, it's an interesting look during that gunfight. And also, we haven't touched on this, but I do think Jack Slater's outfit is cool. And so from what I read. Yeah. They had huge issues with the car. So the kid would drive around. Austin O'Brien, he would drive around in different 10 different cars with Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to find the iconic car. The boots were a massive deal. They struggled to find the best boots possible. But at the end of the day, that's good costuming for Jack Slater.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the toy line failed, but that's a easily recognizable character.
Yeah, like, if you look at, all of the most recognizable characters, they have a signature look that is easy to recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Terminator is like, okay, you're going to have sunglasses, you're going to have a black leather jacket, you're going to have boots, you're going to be carrying a shotgun. It's
John McClane has a tank top.
yeah, exactly. Instantly you can recognize these characters.
But yeah,
Indiana Jones has the hat, the fedora and the whip.
and I think they did a good job because this is supposed to be a fictional character. This is my first time meeting a fictional character. That was really interesting. But yeah, they, I don't know. I like the look of Slater. I think they sort of nailed that. And I liked when he opened his closet. He had all the same pairs of clothes, the same guns.
Just like the entire outfit. It's like, it's like Homer Simpson's closet. It's just like, basically, you have like 10 pairs of the exact same outfit. That's what you wear.
It's funny that his daughter wore a red shirt and then she also wore jean shorts. So a variation of her
family. Those are the family colors. You just wear, like, we wear red in this family. Yeah. It's gang affiliation of the Slaters.
But, and then what's interesting too is there's a $20 million Burger King campaign. There were Last Action Hero video games that I watched some videos on and everyone hates them. But then there was also a platinum selling soundtrack. And with AC/DC.
AC/DC wrote a song for it. Like, that song, Big Gun, was like explicitly made for this movie.
And it's a good song.
And it's a great song. Like, it is really, really good.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger dresses up in that video.
Yeah. And
plays the guitar. Have you ever seen the video for that?
Yeah. Yeah, the video is awesome. I mean, he's like in the crowd and then kind of...
This was, so 93, this is also around the time when Judgment Night wasn't that popular, but it had a platinum selling soundtrack. Remember, like, Batman Forever? And this...
Oh, I had that soundtrack. That was awesome. That was such a good soundtrack.
I miss those 90s soundtracks, right? I own so many of those. Soundtracks were a big thing.
My favorite one, like, I remember my mum got me like this double album. It was called the Number One Movies album, and it just took like the best like tracks from like a bunch of different soundtracks and had them on like one compilation album.
What?
So you had like stuff from like Batman Forever, from Back to the Future, from like Terminator, from like there were things like Guns N' Roses from Terminator 2. There was like Huey Lewis and the News from Back to the Future. You had all these cool songs on there, and it was great.
I don't know if y'all listen to this, but there's a band I love. I grew up listening to. I still listen to them. I don't care. They're called Newfound Glory. I guess if you had to describe them, they're pop punk.
I remember the name.
But they have 3 albums, From the Screen to Your Stereo, where they do pop punk covers of Power of Love and The Neverending Story. And they're really good. Like the Titanic song. I listen to it nonstop. I love it. They do This Is Me. What's the Let It Go from Frozen?
So yeah.
If anybody's ever bored, I would definitely go to Spotify and just check out that album. And so I'm looking at this, right? This is 93. AC/DC, Alice in Chains, Megadeth, Queensryche, Def Leppard, Anthrax, Aerosmith, Alice in Chains again, Cypress Hill, Fishbone, Tesla, and Buckethead. That's
a pretty cool soundtrack.
Yeah, in 93, that's an arena rocker right there. No, but I know they only had a few minutes from each songs, but I mean, it's just such an interesting movie. I think they got the costume right. They had a fun soundtrack. I think they cast it right. The kid's good. There's nothing wrong about Danny.
He's not that annoying. Like, compared to, certain like kid side, like he's a lot less annoying than Short Round, put it that way.
And that kid had a lot to do if you sort of think about it, because he had played by Austin O'Brien Danny. He had to be a little smug because he knew what everyone else wasn't. But then he also had to be a kid, but then he was telling everybody, but then he had to enjoy himself. But then he still had to be a kid. I mean, I think McTiernan did the best job he could do getting what he could out of this kid. I
couldn't really fault like Danny. Like the performance there was fine. He did what he could with the role. It was he played the kind of fish out of water kid in this world pretty down to earth, to be honest.
That's a great point too, because he was never a brat. But you know these kids.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Sorry.
like smug, super smart, know everything kids that you get in like some movies. Like he was just like a normal kid who was like, oh, I've seen this movie. It's like, yeah, he's totally like doing this.
And then he wasn't the brat too, so you didn't have to deal. You didn't have a kid dealing with a new stepdad or stepmom.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? He's just a kid.
Yeah, he was just like a fairly normal kid.
So from a writing standpoint, that's pretty good.
One thing that was weird though is like, how did the mom not know she was sitting talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger in her kitchen?
Oh,
like, that was weird. Like the biggest movie star on the planet, all of a sudden Arnold Schwarzenegger is in your kitchen and be like, "Oh yes, I took Danny to see some pictures," and she'd be like, "You are Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?" Like,
even if he did say, "No, I'm not him." No, I get that a lot.
Like...
Oh yeah, I get that a lot. No, you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. You are one.
Yeah.
That's a good point, because even if she didn't watch movies, she probably watches enough with her kid, and you see posters everywhere.
Yeah, like you can't miss. Like at the exact time this was going on, there was like an 80-foot balloon of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Times Square, like for this premiere that was going on the next night or whatever.
And imagine the subway and all of that.
Yeah, like everywhere. It's going to be absolutely everywhere. Like, how can you not know that that's Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I never even thought about that. They just stayed up talking all night. Why is this cop?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, from what I heard,
this cop who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger sitting here talking with me all night.
From what I heard from McTiernan is that McTiernan said he had 9.5 months to get it from filming, wrapped, edited. So I think from the writing phase to because he got on, then he gave the script to Shane Black, and then they got the script to William Goldman. Then they started shooting. So a 9.5 month process is kind of nothing to make.
Yeah.
So for me, I always like to look this up. Like if let's say, I don't know, Niall, you make an amazing movie called Sawblade the Vampire, and it's huge and popular, and then I see that a sequel came out a year later, I might be a little easier on it than if it came out 3 years later. Does that make sense? Because it means you're rushed into production. You didn't have as great of a script, so you got to kind of expect different things. So I guess knowing how fast this movie was greenlit, and it still makes narrative. Okay, does this movie make sense?
If you follow just the basic narrative throughput, it follows a fairly straight route. It's like kid gets ticket, kid goes into movie, villain gets ticket, villain escapes, heroes follow to real world, battle with villain, heroes injured, send him back to his own world where he's just got a flesh wound. Yeah,
that makes sense. Kid goes on an adventure. Picture. Yeah, all right. It tracks. But yeah, so the fact that it tracks and it has as many good beats as it does, from that side of things, I like it.
I think it could have been better though.
Yeah.
I think obviously, there are a lot of missteps, but at the same time, there's a lot of hidden kind of gems within it.
Is that why it's a hangover movie for you? You can just sit on the couch and maybe catch something new or remember something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can just you sit and you'll be like, oh, that's, maybe I hadn't seen whatever movie they're like taking a little sight gag from or something. And then when I've seen that movie, I'm like, oh, that's ripping off like that thing. Or, you just kind of appreciate different things differently, depending on, your life experience. Like if you've seen
Seventh Seal.
Look now, yeah, exactly. Like Seventh Seal. I had not seen that when I first saw Last Action Hero, but I was still like, okay, I know that's supposed to be death.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Okay.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now that I know Seventh Seal.
And that was Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
As well. They had Ian McKellen playing Death.
You will die a grandpa.
Awesome casting.
But wait, if Death gets pulled from Seventh Seal, that's from another world, not his current world.
Yeah.
So does he have that power in our world?
Is Death universal? I don't know.
Wait, does Death go to all the different movie worlds and grab people?
Maybe.
So every time...
Maybe he's...
Sorry, this is just interesting, right? Does that okay? Do
Well,
all these worlds exist?
Yeah, it could be like the Discworld death. Like he kind of does like this whole like I don't know if you have you read the Discworld books? They're awesome. Fantasy. It's written by Terry Pratchett. There are like 40 of them.
Oh.
But the best character is Death. He is hilarious. Like just so well written. But basically, yeah, Death like travels between dimensions and stuff and has like basically a list of people he has to pick up every night, and he just kind of goes and like, right, I'm going to go to this place and collect this person, and yeah, that's his whole existence. So it could be something similar. It's basically, death is universal.
I like that Death is Ian McKellen. You're right. I like Good Omens, by the way. That's a good.
Well, that's same writer as Discworld, actually.
Yeah. And then also
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett.
I bought the Blu-ray for the TV show because Neil Gaiman does a commentary on every episode, and I just like listening to his voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow him on Twitter. He's quite good.
He said he was going to do a thing where he reads a Cheesecake Factory menu, and I would listen to that on repeat. I would just listen to him read Cheesecake Factory menu. You know Cheesecake Factory?
I know of it. I can't say I've ever been.
This has everything. There's a page for, Chinese cuisine, American cuisine, Mexican cuisine, Canadian cuisine, Australian cuisine. I don't know if it has that. But it's just everything. So it would take him hours to read that menu. Oh, that'd be amazing. Like, Coors Light. No, God. But hey, so what other thoughts have we? Wait, what else do we have that we haven't tackled on this? So do you have any final thoughts about this?
I think like the kind of main, it's kind of circling back to a lot of what we said, is that it would have been received a lot differently in if it had been released a little bit later, and that it was just a little bit ahead of its time.
Yeah, and the jokes though, I love this movie. I love it. I don't know. I don't care, Niall. This movie's weird, but I love it. No?
Yeah, I can agree with you on that.
And I cut you off one more time, so we're getting used to that. It's a good trope. If you're listening, just take a drink every time I interrupt Niall. But yeah,
well, I'm doing dry January at the moment, so no drinking for me.
Oh, that's why you got that water there.
Yeah, hydrating.
How's it treating you? You're 13 days in.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, fortunately with all this lockdown, I've got nothing to do but try and watch movies and not have a glass of wine while doing it.
Well, break the habit, right? Because that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to go watch a movie and have a beer. All right. Hey, so how about this? Before we get out of here, let's do a really quick 1993 draft. And you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks to 1993 Action Movie Draft. And you go to Movies, Films, and Flicks on Facebook, and I'll set up a poll, and you'll find it, and you can vote for Niall or I. And we're going to put together 5 action movies each. So I'll let you have first pick, Niall, so you can pick the first 1993 action film that you can vote on at Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook.
I'm going to be cheeky and steal Demolition Man. That's my first one, because I love that movie.
Yeah, you got it. All right, I'm gonna take, and we can do a wide swath of movies. It's totally fine. I'll do Cliffhanger.
All right. I'm gonna take the subject of our conversation right now, Last Action Hero.
All right.
That's my second choice.
Can I take Hot Shots Part 2?
Yeah, I think I'll allow that.
It's action, right? There's a lot of action, gunfighting, explosions, sword fights, kickboxing fights. All right, so you're next.
Yeah. I need to have a think. What else came out?
Oh gosh, there's a couple here. If you pick this one, it's all over.
Let me see.
Oh man.
Ooh, there are some good ones.
Yeah, I messed up by taking Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for.
What do you got? Hey, don't take the one I want. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna do True Romance, I think.
All right, so I'm gonna take. So it's a western, but it's also action. I'm taking Tombstone.
Oh, nice.
That's a ringer, but I love that movie. All right, so you're up.
I'll go RoboCop 3.
All right, since you do that one, I'll take Judgment Night.
Nice.
I recorded an episode with Bryce Serbrug about it, so.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How is Bryce doing?
He's good.
To him in ages.
Yeah. So you can actually listen to Judgment Night.
Oh, nice.
So your fifth one, your last one. No Jurassic Park.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. I think I'm gonna go for Mr. Van Damme.
Oh, which one?
Hard Target.
Oh no. Yep, that's a smart pick. So I love The Fugitive, and I understand why Tommy Lee Jones won an Oscar, and I love In the Line of Fire. I just don't want to pick either one. Is that bad?
I don't think it's bad, but
Ooh, man, Iron Monkey.
Fugitive is awesome.
Oh, it's beautiful. All right, there's Iron Monkey that came out with Donnie Yen. The Legend 2 with Jet Li. Oh, man. Oh, there's a Lorenzo Lamas movie? Hey. All right, I am going to take... You know what? I'll just do that. I'll just do... Oh, Crime Story came out, too. All right, Mark, stop talking into the thing. I'm going to take Iron Monkey. Why not? I'll do some Donnie Yen movies.
Sweet.
All right, so you can go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. Oh, gosh. Demolition Man, Last Action Hero, True Romance, RoboCop 3, and Hard Target versus Cliffhangers, Hot Shots Part 2, Tombstone, Judgment Night, and Iron Monkey. That's a funky list.
Yeah.
You know what I like about MFF is we very rarely get people just going for blatant ringer squads. It's nice.
Yeah, that's not really in the spirit of it, is it? Like, you want to try to come up with something random rather than, or at least in my opinion, I like to come up with like some slightly more left field choices.
I want to see a listing of RoboCop 3. And that's what makes the list for me. Like, there's RoboCop 3 on there. That's odd. And I'd rather lose with a team I love than lose with a team that I tried to win with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, because it's more fun, I think, if you got to enjoy what you're doing. If you're just like trying to like crunch the numbers, like I'm sure you could like go through and like come up with a statistically best Metacritic liked squad that fits a certain theme, but that's your day job. Like, you don't want to be doing that for fun.
That's how I make my living. So yeah. I don't want to do that. But yeah, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me. This was great.
Yeah, no worries. It's been fun.
All right. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, and for Niall Moore, this is Movies, Films, and Flicks. We'll see you next week.